Good afternoon, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. This is Rich again, back for your second video blog of the day for Monday, November 9th, 2015, around 4:14 in the afternoon, Belleville, Massachusetts. Sun is going down in about 20 minutes. Another sunny day, a great fall-like day, close to 60 degrees, little bit humid and little bit nippy and stuff in the morning times, but it turned out to be a good day. This probably could be the warmest day of the week. Maybe we could make another run at 60 degrees on Friday after some rain showers, couple of chances of rain Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, and Thursday afternoon to Friday morning. The Thursday afternoon to Friday morning could be the chance of significant rainfall. Some news to report. Patriots tailback Dion Lewis tore his ACL. He's going to be out for the rest of the year. That's a big blow to the Patriots. And the 2016 Baseball Hall of Fame ballot has been released. The top first-year candidates include Ken Griffey Jr., outfielder, who played most of his career with the Seattle Mariners, over 600 home runs, and Trevor Hoffman, relief pitcher, who pitched most of his career with the San Diego Padres. He had 600 saves, plus some holdover candidates like Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, Mike Piazza, and others. Results will be announced January. And my prediction is Ken Griffey Jr. is going to be the only player who's going to be voted into the Hall of Fame by the baseball writers. That's my humble opinion. Sometime later on this week, I'll tell you who I would vote for the Baseball Hall of Fame if I had a ballot, and I would use all 10 of them. And that's about it on the news. I had my annual physical today. I turned out pretty good. Lots of good stuff. That I'm a pretty healthy guy and stuff like that. One thing I don't like about these physicals, I have to fast the night before because I do blood work and stuff. That's not good. The only thing I could drink is water, but you have to do what you have to do. And that's about it on that. My next video subject is about the old subscription television service called Preview, which lasted from the fall of 1980 through the end of 1985. Preview was owned by Time Warner. Background on subscription TV. Back in the late 70s and early 80s, subscription TV was a very, very big boom throughout the country. Many subscription TV services, including Starcase and On TV and Best TV, were like subscription TV services on UHF stations throughout the country. UHF is ultra high frequency, and usually the ultra high frequency were like these stations were low powered, or the lowest rated independent stations throughout the country that would show subscription TV and stuff, and it made a lot of money for the television stations and stuff. They showed movies and other stuff. And Preview debuted in the fall of 1980, and it had affiliates. The major affiliates were in Dallas, Texas, on a television station that's now My TV, owned by Fox. And there was another one in St. Louis, Missouri, which eventually became the ABC affiliate. There was one in Cleveland, and there was one in Boston, which was shown on WSMW TV, Channel 27, Worcester, Boston. The original Preview programming was from 7 to midnight. They usually showed movies, which were owned by the Warner Brothers movie studios and stuff, and they got real popular and stuff. Subscription TV, these movies were uncut and unedited. The only way you could watch them, if you got a decoder, then you could pay a service fee to watch these stations, watch Preview, and you could have got it if you had cable TV. But back in 1980, most people did not have cable TV and stuff. And if you did not have a decoder, the channel was scrambled. You could only hear audio, but you couldn't see the thing because it would scramble it for the time Preview was on and stuff. And Preview became very, very popular with many of the television stations it was affiliated with. And eventually they started to expand the time program for Preview. Some affiliates picked up Preview for about 24 hours a day and stuff, which that's what WSMW TV 27 in Worcester did. Originally they ran Preview from 7 p.m. to midnight, but eventually they started earlier in the day, like 5 p.m. and then down to 3 p.m. Soon, WSMW TV 27 was showing Preview 21 hours a day on the weekdays. They only showed 3.5 hours of local programming, which was like religious programming and children's programming and Spanish international news and headline news, among others. And the rest of the day they showed Preview. And weekends they were 24/7 and stuff, but once in a while WSMW would sign off the air for maintenance work and stuff like that. In 1983, Preview bought one of the competitions, Starcase. Starcase had an affiliate in Boston, WQTV 68, and that WQTV 68 became an independent station and stuff like that. In 1984, Preview got some programming from On TV, which was another subscription service programming, which was mainly in the West Coast and stuff. And Preview added sports programming. So it was mainly boxing and stuff. Other On TV affiliates showed like local team sports. I know Los Angeles and Chicago, they showed the local pro sports teams out of Los Angeles and Chicago, but Boston already had contracts to their major teams with other cable networks, so there was no local sports on Preview in the Boston area and stuff. It was just boxing and stuff. Plus, they showed children's programming, usually Warner Brothers pictures, like cartoons and stuff. And they showed adult entertainment at late night. They called it Night View and stuff. They showed softcore porno movies. These were just softcore. They went on hardcore porno movies. There were softcore porno movies and stuff, usually limited nudity and stuff like that. Maybe kind of not full nudity, but like semi-nude and stuff like that. And also, they showed concerts from Las Vegas. They maybe some of the top musicians back then. Maybe they showed one with James Brown, Cher, and others and stuff like that. And Preview was at its peak in the 1984 and stuff, but by 1985, Preview was like, the subscription was going down because, first of all, VCRs were getting more cheaper, so many people decided to watch the movies rent them from video stores at a cheap price and not paying a subscription service on like for so many dollars a month. Also, HBO and Showtime were getting to be more popular because cable TV was expanding, and these premium services were getting more popular and stuff because they were showing the movies plus original programming, plus they saw the other programming and stuff like that. And also, another thing of the demise of the subscription TV service Preview was people stealing it. Like they were figuring it out, piracy and stuff. They were getting scramblers so they could watch them and stuff like that. And also, sometimes some people could get like the antennas so they could watch them and stuff like that. Especially those adult movies and stuff. And and those things were real popular and stuff like that. One by one, the affiliates were being dropped and stuff. Subscription service was being dropped. And by the end of 1985, Preview lost its last affiliate, which WSMW TV Channel 27, Worcester, Boston. They got sold, and they changed the call letters from WSMW to WHLL, and it was going to become a full-time independent station again, being the focus of the Boston television market and stuff. I've seen a couple of like videos of Preview on YouTube. They're pretty good and stuff. They called it the best show in town and stuff, and it was pretty good and stuff. I never watched Preview and stuff because I was too young for it, but sometimes I saw the scrambled things on WSMW, and you just couldn't. You didn't get the volume, but it was some guy saying, "This is WSMW TV channel 27 Worcester, currently broadcasting preview and stuff." And that's about it on preview. And they'll be back with the third and final video blog of the night, which will be about the personality profile. It will be about Pro Football Hall of Famer and current NFL on CBS #2 analyst Dan Fouts, the Beard. Keep calm, everybody. I'm a Julie Button guy. Julie Button rocks and has nice and stunning legs. Elizabeth Hart's another stunning blonde with nice legs. Molly Rosenblatt rocks. And in the words of Sean Lucha, get out! See you later, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.